Hey everyone, welcome back to Cody Tarot. I'm your tarot reader, Cody. So for today's pick a card, we are going to be doing a reading all about your next relationship. So whatever relationship is coming in next in your life, who will that person be? What will you guys experience together? All that good stuff in today's reading. So without further ado, let's get into the piles. Group 1, we have Blue Apatite. Group 2, we have Lithium Dream Quartz. For group 3, we have this piece of Jade. It's actually, I don't know if you can see it, but there's like a little, where is that? There's like a little quartz crystal right there embedded in the back of this Jade. So it's like Jade with quartz, but basically green Jade. And for group 4, we have Rainbow Obsidian. You can kind of see my studio reflected in that one. And for group 5, last but not least, we have, I can't pronounce this, it's like Starbrary Quartz or Starberry Quartz. Almost like library, but with a star in it. Yeah, that's group 5. So take all the time you need to pick your crystal. You can pause the video here if you need to. And with that said, we're going to move on to group 1 with the Blue Apatite. Hey group 1, this is if you picked the Blue Apatite stone right here. So let's get into your reading. This is a rough stone. It hasn't been cut or polished or anything like that. It's just kind of, I bought it like that out of a bin in Arizona, and I kind of like it like that. So let's get into your reading. So we're gonna pull an animal oracle card for you and your person who you're in the next relationship with, or who's coming in. We're gonna get a card to represent you in this relationship and get a card to represent them in this relationship. So let's draw. We have one for you. We have Dolphin. Cool. And we have one for them. We have Wolf. And I also want to pull a love story oracle card for the main energy between this connection for both of you. And we have Patience. Interesting. And let's get some tarot cards. And I also want to pull a wisdom of the oracle card. So I'll pull that wisdom of the oracle card first, and then we'll get some tarot cards. So what's a card to represent the relationship for group 1 for those who picked the Blue Apatite? I'm feeling called to give these cards a good shuffle. Okay, let's see. And we have Happy. Cool. So let's get some tarot cards for you guys now. I'm going to be pulling from my Light Seers tarot deck. I use this deck a lot, I'm realizing. I have other tarot decks and I never use them. Maybe this is a sign to start using other decks. In fact, actually, sorry guys, I'm gonna get another deck. Okay, as you guys know, group 1 is like my experimental group. Like I kind of figure out what I'm going to do for the rest of the groups based on just like how I do group 1 spread. So we're going to be using the Forest of Enchantment tarot cards. And I'm not going to be taking reversals today. And then I also found my past life. I got this new deck. And I haven't used it on the channel yet, and I think I want to break it out today and use it on the channel. It's a past life oracle deck, and I think I'm going to use it to see why your guys' connection, why you're coming into contact with each other in this lifetime. Okay, let's see. We have the Child of Boons, the Four of Challenges, the Ace of Boons, and the Six of Boons. Do I have room on the table? Yeah, I do. Okay. We'll get one more card. Okay. Brand new deck. Have not used this on the channel ever, so really excited. The deck is called Uncover Your Past Lives Oracle. I don't know who it's by because it doesn't say on the box. Okay, let's see. We have this card that wants to come out. We have Pirate, Maritimer, Explorer, Ocean Traveler, Fisherman, Pirate. We also have this card that wanted to come out, which says Tormentor, Easy Target, Flying Monkey, Scapegoat, Bully. Now, I'm not going to take this one because the card that drew me was this pirate card, but the fact is there is a pirate on this card. Like, there's a guy with a little pirate hat and a knife, right? And the card's called Bully. So let me put these together. I'll just put this one underneath that one. And mainly going to read the energies off the top one, but let's get into it. Okay, I'm just going to start reading. A lot of this stuff is not coming to me right away, so I think it'll just come as I continue reading the cards. But let's get into it. So first we have, for your Animal Oracle cards, we have you over here represented by the dolphin and them represented by the wolf. Now, keep in mind, sometimes in these either or readings, the energies could be flipped, so you might resonate more with the wolf in this spread, but we're going to be reading it from the dolphin's perspective, basically, or the perspective that I'm assuming most of my viewers are while watching this. So with the dolphin here, we see you as being like more intuitive than this person that you're approaching or that you're going to be in a relationship with. The good news is that you both have compatible elements. You're represented by water and they're represented by earth, and it's kind of like, in a way, you're both in like more of a receptive nature, but at the same time, you're both more like, it's almost like you're both focused on more of a long-term connections, if that makes sense. I feel like you're going to be very emotional and very healing for this person. And with the wolf energy here with the earth symbol, they'll be a very stable influence in your life. Now, we do have patience here, which indicates that there are going to be some elements of the connection that are going to require some patience. I'm going to get to those in a little bit. But overall, with happy, when you first meet this person and the story that kind of goes between you, like the main gist of everything going on is a feeling of happiness, a feeling of elation, a feeling of joy. I feel like that's why you're represented as the dolphin, because this person brings out your side of yourself that is like a dolphin. You might be thinking in this reading, like, I don't feel like a dolphin really truly represents me as my spirit animal or as a representation of me. But I am saying that through this connection, they're going to bring out that playful side in you. You're going to act very dolphin-like, I guess you could say, in this connection. I'm seeing you being really playful with this person, like cracking jokes here and there, them like chuckling at your jokes. Like they bring out your lighter side is kind of what I'm seeing. With all these colors in the background, the pinks, the yellows, the greens, the blues, I feel like they're bringing out all of your chakras that are in the midsection of your body, if that makes sense. You're not going to be focused on like survival like the root chakra is, and you're not going to be focused on stuff that like the crown chakra, the third eye chakra would bring you. So for example, even though you're represented as an intuitive being in this relationship, that you have intuition, you'll probably be pulling intuition from more feeling places or guttural places. Like, for example, in this relationship, you might get strong sensations in your gut of feeling about this person. Or you might be getting strong sensations in your heart space might start tingling or something along those lines. I'm also seeing a little bit of blue in this thing, so I feel like communication is important in this relationship. All of your mid chakras are going to be really highlighted in this relationship is what I'm seeing. Now, I feel like this wolf person, they're giving me the vibe of like watching you before they act, kind of with these eyes, the way the wolf's looking at me right now in this image. I feel like this person, you're going to require a lot of patience for them to act and make a move for you guys, but I do feel they do make moves. It's not like they're just, how do I put this, like hesitant or like not making any kind of moves. They just probably make less moves towards you than you're used to. But I feel like on one hand with the wolf card here, I feel like they're very, dominant is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. Like they're very much like a standalone type of person. Like I'm getting like lone wolf vibes, and I'm getting like strong and sturdy kind of energy from them. But I see you kind of being this like playful light thing that kind of floats around them or something like that. With Happy, I feel like they're very amused by you. They really enjoy your energy and your company. They really enjoy your playful spirit. I feel like you bring so much joy into their life, and I feel like they in return somehow bring joy into your life, even though they might not be acting in a way that like looks like they're bringing joy to your life. A lot of people might think that when they met you two as a couple, they might think like, oh, like, you know, group one is so playful and hilarious and fun, and they're with this dud that doesn't even say or do anything. But it's like on a deeper, like more spiritual level. It's like their stoicism actually in like brings more passion into your life, if that makes sense. You guys may have experienced this with some people in the past, where you were around people who maybe had a more introverted persona or something like that, or were a more, how do I put this, mysterious in a way, and it maybe made you guys more playful and energetic, because it's almost like their introverted energy is kind of like pulling out your energy, if that makes sense, because they're so like mysterious, I guess you could say, because I'm seeing the wolf as kind of mysterious. I'm getting this like introverted, mysterious kind of vibe, and I see you as being this like playful, energetic person around them. With patience here, I just feel like it's going to take some time for them to get on the same level as you, to get on that same playful level as you. There is something along the lines of like the fact of you guys getting closer on a more intimate level is going to take time. I feel like this person does make moves towards you. I feel like this person does initiate in their own way. I just feel like they want to take their time in getting to know you. That's kind of what I'm seeing with the patience card and the hourglass. It's like they want to make sure that you're not just messing around with them. That's kind of the vibe. They kind of want to see if they can take you seriously, right? I see at first, the reason why they're kind of feeling like this is because with the Child of Boons here, this is a child who's wandered through the forest and he found this cottage that's like made of candy, right? Or this gingerbread cottage or whatever, this house that's made of like gumdrops and candy. So with the Child of Boons, I really feel like you found this like shelter for yourself. You feel like you found this kind of shelter, this home, and it's like sweet to the touch, right? Like you feel like this person is like candy, sugar, ice cream. Like that's the description I want to use. Like this person is sweet is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. Not that they necessarily might be sweet, but the way they interact with your personality is like you feel like your playful, sweet taste buds have been awakened. You know, you might get this kind of like quote unquote sugar rush when you're around them, where you kind of feel like hyper all of a sudden and you kind of want to expend a lot of energy, kind of like a kid who's had too much candy, you know? It's interesting because I see that this kind of transforms over time. And when they start to open up more, this feeling of kind of like, how do I put it? Like intense kind of a rush or something, or a rush or an excitement or something like that, turns into this Four of Challenges, which represents like the Four of Spades or the Four of Swords in tarot represents this like peacefulness, right? Like this really deep, restful state. Other cards can indicate restfulness or relaxation, but this is like deep rest and recovery. So I feel like with this person, you're going to have moments of deep relaxation, almost like you're in a trance is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. So I feel like it's going to be so relaxed, and almost the thing about this relationship is I feel it's almost like too relaxed is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. I feel it starts out really exciting and then it slowly gets into this kind of drony, kind of relaxed state, if that makes sense. For some of you, I think that this is actually going to be a really like big blessing in disguise, because I feel like maybe you haven't had that kind of moment to like rest in a long time. And so this feeling of rest is going to feel really rewarded, or like you're ready for it or something along those lines. And it's interesting because I feel like the forest around this tree with the fruit on it is like dead and scary and creepy branches, you know, and then there's this one tree just blooming in the middle of it, like miraculously. So I feel that like, it's kind of like this person is the eye of the storm. It's like there's this crazy storm going on around you guys, and it's like you can really rest with them. It's like you can really feel restful and peaceful with them. It's interesting because I feel like the interesting thing about your guys' connection we have Bully here and we have the Maritimer. I feel like with Bully, this person in a past life either you or them bullied the other one is kind of what I'm seeing. But I'm seeing that does not happen at all in this lifetime. That does not happen at all when you guys are, in fact, it's the opposite that happens. There was some situation in a past life where one of you bullied the other one. And in that lifetime, they felt guilty about bullying you. And so I'm just going to assume it's you that they bullied, to be honest, but it could have been you bullying them at the same time. But one of you felt really guilty about bullying the other one. And so in this lifetime, before you meet each other, there's like this overwhelming feeling when you immediately meet each other of like sympathy, of like, I feel for your suffering. I feel for your sorrows. Because I feel like in this past lifetime, and the thing is, it's interesting because I feel like you guys went on a trip with Maritimer here in your past life. It was like you went on this trip together, and on this trip, one of you bullied the other one. And the one who was like got bullied felt a little fearful or afraid. And the one who did the bullying felt guilty afterwards. Like they didn't mean to say what they said, or they felt bad about what they said. They felt kind of like, man, maybe I shouldn't have said that, or something along those lines. So I feel like whoever was like the one bullying the other one felt really guilty for what they had to do. Maybe they had to bully the other one out of a sense of duty or something like that. And so now in this lifetime, there's a feeling of duty all the same, but the duty is to like protect the other person, to protect them from bullies even. I feel like that's an interesting thing that's coming through. It's like there's a sense of like protecting the other one from bullies. I'm almost saying with the dolphin card, because I know how dolphins attack sharks in the ocean, and you can think of sharks like, I know some people love sharks, and I love sharks too, but like dolphins will bottlenose the shark's gills to like get them out of areas where they're like gonna like attack or something. Dolphins kind of gang up on sharks. So I feel like it might be one of those things where maybe you guys have this kind of like protective energy over this wolf person, right? You have this kind of protective, like, I'm going to defend you, because there's this feeling of, it's an unconscious feeling because it happened in a past life, but there's this feeling of wanting to protect them because in a past life you kind of tormented them, right? So you're trying to protect them from tormentors in this lifetime. With the fact that it happened on a trip, I feel like you guys could want to explore a lot in this connection. You want to like go places and explore and do things. I feel like you guys have like this beautiful ability to, in this connection, to be active and go exploring, but at the same time have this deep inner sense of rest that's like permanent throughout your explorations, if that makes sense. That like the more this wolf person opens up to you, the more this rest is going to settle in. So it's very cool because it's almost like you guys can take your home with you wherever you go. This will be the type of person where if, say, you're still living at home with your parents, or you're living with people that you don't maybe get along with so well, or just you could get along with them. It's just that when you were with this person, it feels like home. It feels like kind of like there's this sense of relaxing. Like you guys could be out at like a movie theater or something, and I feel like, you know, maybe you act like you're just chilling in your living room at home. Like that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. Like you guys have this ability to feel deeply relaxed even when you're on a trip or going somewhere or doing something. So you guys could go like horseback riding, and sometimes people, you know, they get tense on the horse or something, but when you're with this person, you just feel peaceful and at home and kind of content. And it's kind of like a really deep relaxation. And I want to emphasize this again because sometimes a deep relaxation is not what we want in the long run of a relationship. It feels good. It feels really good. And specifically, if this is something you want, this might be someone that might be a very long-term connection for you. But sometimes the deep relaxation can feel like, oh, we want to move again, or we want to like get into motion again, if that makes sense, inside, like on an internal level. The thing that is making me say that that's probably, how do I put this? Let's just say that this Explorer card, this fact that you guys like going on trips, it's a very nice balance to this Four of Challenges card, if that makes sense. It's a very nice balance to this stability. I think that's what creates these really happy feelings immediately and positively right off the bat with you and this person, because I feel like you have the best of both worlds. You can go exploring, and at the same time, you can deeply relax into each other. With Ace of Boons, this is really interesting. I feel like you guys might have a few moments in your connection where money probably appears to you out of nowhere. I'm also seeing the Ace of Boons is kind of like this. I'm seeing the toad here is like the image. What's that story where it's like where the princess kisses the frog, right? And the frog turns into a prince. I'm seeing this kind of vibe of like, the more you are playful with this person, the more they start to turn into your ideal lover or companion, right? The more you kind of are engaged with them and playful with them and crack jokes with them and have fun with them, I feel like is the more this wolf person starts to open up. And it's almost like the way I'm seeing it too is I feel like, honestly, I know I was thinking that they could have bullied you, but the way I'm seeing it in the past life situation, I feel like you in a past life bullied them. And it kind of made them more mysterious or hesitant or introverted because they don't know how to engage. But it's interesting. I feel like there's a strong connection nonetheless. And like I said, happy is the main energy of this connection. So don't take this bullying past life thing too seriously. I feel like it's mainly unconscious. I feel like you guys aren't going to even be thinking about that. But with the dolphin card here, I see the more playful you are with this person, the more you make them feel safe, the more they'll open up, right? And with the Ace of Boons here, Ace of Pentacles is also my friendship card. So it just means that like you guys have a deep sense of friendship with each other besides any romantic connection, which I'm seeing that too. But like there's almost like this sense of friendship about your connection. And yeah, with the princess and the frog analogy, going back to that, it's like the more you're playful around them, it's like the more kisses you can give them, the more love you can dote on them, the more they start to slowly open up and the ice melts and you guys can receive this kind of like deeper relaxation the more they open up. Yeah, patience just means that it's going to take them time to open up, but that doesn't mean to like stop showing them love or stop giving them love. I feel like they appreciate that love and you'll be able to tell that they appreciate that love. It just might take more time than you think to get them to open up all the way, basically. With Six of Boons here, I'm seeing all these rabbits like snuggling this woman, and I feel like there's just this kind of energy that all these rabbits like love her, and they're kind of like coming around her to kind of like keep her warm, you know, and it's kind of reminding me of like It Takes a Village. You know, I'm almost thinking of like this woman is like this rabbit's child, or these rabbits are all thinking this woman is like a baby of theirs or something. And so they're snuggling around her, keeping her warm. The vibe that I'm getting here is that you guys might realize in this relationship that it's not just about you and your other partner, right? It's not just about you and your partner. It's about, with the trips and the exploring, it's about the people you meet. It's about the lives you touch. It's about the community you're a part of. I think that's something that's going to be more prevalent in the end of the relationship is kind of how I'm seeing it. I'm seeing that like, you guys might, and this is one area where it's like, I can see you guys maybe if you split up, like if you break up at this point or you part ways, this could be one of the reasons is because I feel like you guys become so social with other people that you almost lose the sense of connection with yourself, which is not a bad thing. I feel like that's the normal development of this connection, that in the long run, you guys are going to experience more joy and energy interacting with other people than you do just yourselves. And so it could be this thing that you guys come to where it's like, where I feel like initially you guys are very connected to each other and you experience all this like amazing stuff. I just feel like towards the end, you're more focused on other people and larger groups and like branching off into like larger areas and meeting different people, having different experiences. And I don't even think it's romantic. I don't even think you guys want other people romantically. You're just realizing, because a lot of this is like based on friendship. I feel like a lot of people who pick this pile, they want someone who they can kind of connect with psychologically first and then look second, or sexuality second. So one thing that I'm seeing is you're just realizing you're exploring your connections and friendships with other people. Now it's interesting. You guys could stay together and just be a couple that has tons of friends and builds this like network or community. But you could also split apart, especially if you guys start noticing you like different people or you have separate friend groups. That could be something that could harbor in this relationship. Like, oh, they like this person, but I don't like them. And then I like this person, but they don't like them. There could be this vibe of like parting ways just to like experience more friendships in your life. And I think it's pretty amicable. I don't really see any cards that are showing me otherwise. I feel like you guys, if you do split, it's going to be because it was like the relationship kind of ran its course and it's time to part ways. But yeah, I'm going to end the reading there. I really enjoyed reading for you guys. This is a really cool connection. Yeah, I'm glad I brought out the past life cards. It was fun. If you liked the reading, please like or comment below. If you really enjoyed this reading, feel free to subscribe to my channel. We're always welcoming new subscribers here at Cody Tarot. And with that said, we're moving on to group 2 with the Lithium Dream Quartz. And I will see you guys later in the next pick a card or on a future video. Bye. Hey, group 2, this is if you picked the Lithium Dream Quartz. Such a cool stone. It has this like silver glow to it. I think that's the lithium that's in it. Let's get into your reading. So first I'm going to draw a couple Animal Oracle cards. One to represent you and one to represent them. Okay, we have 3 cards that want to come out, but I'm going to take the top 2 only. We're going to have one for you, which is the hummingbird, and one for them, we have scorpion. Wow. Also going to draw a love story oracle card. For this group 2, for your next relationship. We have family, interesting. And I'm going to draw a wisdom of the oracle card. What card wants to come? Okay. Here and now. Okay. And we're going to draw some tarot cards. I'm using my Forest of Enchantment deck. Okay, the first card that wants to come out is Ace of Challenges. This card wants to kind of come out. We have Suspension. I think this is the Hangman. Let's see what else. We have the Enchanter's Wheel. And what else wants to come out? We have the Forge, which I believe is Judgment. And then I'm going to also draw a past life oracle card. There's the deck's called Uncover Your Past Lives, but we're going to get a card out for you guys' past life. Let's see what wants to come out for Group 2's past lives. This one's kind of wanting to come out. We have investigation, spiritual questioning, questioning of authority, and spying. And we have truth seeker as our card. Let's look at the back of this. Okay. So let's get into your reading. Okay, I'm going to get into the reading because I'm seeing a lot, but like with this reading particularly, like my head is getting like heavy or dizzy. Yeah, but I'm gonna just read what I see and then we'll get into it because I'm getting a little like I'm getting the spins with this group. I'm not sure what that means yet because I haven't really gotten that kind of like feeling before in a reading, but I think it'll come to me as I read the cards. Usually the answer is usually in the cards. So let's get into it. So first off, let's talk about how you're going to be meeting this person. So you're probably going to be meeting this person through a family member with this little kid's hand here and this older parent's like finger and the kid grabbing the finger. I feel like this could be someone that you could either meet through one of your parents if you're a younger viewer of mine, or it's possible that like maybe if you have your own children, maybe you meet someone romantically through, even though you have your kid, it's like your kid's play date, they have a play date with the kid and then you meet their parent and it's like, oh man, I like the parent a lot, you know? So I feel like this could be a vibe of like meeting someone through a family member. And the reason I'm saying children or parent is because that's here, but this could also be meeting someone through like a brother of yours or a sister of yours or through a cousin or something like that. But you're meeting someone's like friend or person who they know, and you're meeting them as like a family member, if that makes sense, or through your family member. So examples of this could be if you're having like a family barbecue or something like that, and you know, your cousin Regina brings over her friend Hank or something like that, and she works with Hank, and Hank had nothing better to do but to come to the family barbecue, but then you really hit it off with Hank, right? Hank just looks super hot and you hit on Hank and Hank's into it. So this is kind of the vibe that I'm getting with this kind of relationship. Another example with the kid play date thing is like You know, your little 3-year-old Sarah met this, or your little, sorry, 3-year-old, but your little like 7-year-old Sarah met this like other kid in school. Her name was Brenda, right? And her dad is like a single dad, and maybe you're a single mom, and so you meet Brenda's dad, and like you hit it off with Brenda's dad, and it goes like that. That's kind of where family's coming through, like how you're gonna meet this person. With Hummingbird here, you're represented as someone who's in the very here and now. I feel like you're not stressing a lot with this person. So for example, we have you as an air symbol and them as a water symbol. So this does produce a little bit of tension between both of you. I feel like your next relationship, you might be very sexually attracted to this person, but there is also a little bit of like tension between the two of you, if that makes sense. You being an air symbol seems like you kind of like this person a lot, but you still want your freedom. You want your space. You want to be given the ability to kind of be in your own bubble, basically. Kind of seeing this white aura around this hummingbird is like the hummingbird being in its own bubble. But with here and now, here and now, it's interesting. There's a hummingbird card on another animal oracle deck that I have. It's the Colette Baron Reed deck, and the quote below it says "Be here now" or "Be here and now" or "Here and now." And so it's funny that the here and now card in the Wisdom of the Oracle deck came up, and I'm not even using that deck, but the message is still here. So I am saying with this hummingbird, you are in the present moment. You aren't taking things too seriously or too literally is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. There's almost this vibe of like going with the flow, right? Like I'm going to go with the flow. Like, I don't know where this person comes from. I don't know where they're going. I don't know if I'm going to be with them when they're going somewhere. I'm just taking it moment by moment. You know, there's this kind of vibe. I feel like you guys, maybe you guys have learned this too, that it's good to let the universe do a little work for you in your relationship connections and let things just play out how the universe wants them to, because I'm seeing that you kind of have this like laid back attitude, which is interesting because hummingbirds like beat their wings very fast and they have those fast heartbeats. I feel like you guys are someone who kind of flutters around a lot, or you have this kind of like almost like coquettish like vibe to you or something like that. Like you feel like you're like a little flirty, a little like spicy as a person is kind of what I'm seeing. But like the vibe is very much like, I'm just gonna let, you know, balls in your court, you know, and I'm not gonna sweat about it. I'm not gonna sweat off my back. It's very interesting because you guys may have been in relationships before where you were worried a lot about this person, or maybe you thought about the person a lot, or like, when are they gonna text me? When are they gonna call me? Whatever the case, whether you were like that or not, in this relationship, you're not like that. You're taking it very chill. It's very laid back. It's kind of like, I could take it or leave it. So there's kind of this very liberated feeling is what I'm feeling from you guys as far as like being in the connection with this person. You're definitely with the here and now card. You like them in the moment, but when the moment's gone and they're gone, you don't really think about them too much. Is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. The interesting thing about this person with Truth Seeker here, there is this kind of vibe that in the past, your past lives together, you both were like learning something, or you both were trying to like learn the secrets of something, or you were both trying to learn like how something worked or how something operated. With Truth Seeker here, you were both trying to uncover the truth. So you both could have been in investigative work together, or maybe you worked on like cases where you like solved crimes or something like that. The vibe here is that you are both trying to uncover the truth together. So you're in this lifetime trying to figure out like what's really going on behind the scenes, what's really going on. And I feel like this person you're in a connection with the Scorpion card here and them being like, well, oh, actually, this is a fire symbol. I read this as water, which is interesting. So the fact that I read this as water, and I was probably thinking Scorpio when I saw it, but this is actually, and I mentioned there was a tension. I think that tension could be flipped because I saw this halfway through the reading that this is actually a fire symbol. I feel like that tension could be flipped. It's like immediately when you guys meet each other, there's like a little bit of like sexual tension or awkward tension or something like that. But immediately you guys really, really click and vibe on the same level. It's like you just have to get through a little rough patch, and then all of a sudden you're like you're on the same page, you're on the same vibration, right? So this is kind of indicating easy compatibility, right? Usually I read these symbols of how the relationship is first, but I'm seeing that because I saw it as a water symbol over here first, it's probably going to pull a switch on you, right? Like it's going to pull a switch. Also, the spins that I was getting earlier in the reading, I think what those are representing is that this person might seem a little disorienting when you first meet them. It's like you're drawn to them physically, but maybe they say a few things that are like weird or just like off a little bit when you first meet them. Because I'm seeing that like that flip, right? They're kind of like showing themselves as one way, but really they're another way. And I feel like once they start acting like their true selves, you'll click with them a lot better. Back to with Truth Seeker, you guys could have been in investigative work together. You could have solved crimes together. You could have worked in like a library together, trying to uncover, or research partners, trying to figure out the truth of like a hypothesis or making scientific discoveries. With the Ace of Challenges here, that's going to be the first thing that clicks you guys together, is your intellectual thought processes. I feel like you guys are really going to respect each other's minds, respect the way the other one thinks. You're going to think the other one thinks like in a beautifully logical way that is complementary to how you think logically. And it's almost like there's just this cool vibe of like intellect. I feel like this connection could benefit from like doing crossword puzzles, or how do I put this? Maybe like researching things together. I feel like if you have a pet subject or a pet topic that you like to research or study, like maybe you guys are really into astrology or something and you're trying to discover the truth of how the cosmos create life on Earth or something like that. This person's like right on board with you with whatever it is that you enjoy. It's like they kind of can study it too. And if they don't study it, I feel like quickly with the Ace of Challenges here, you're both going to get on the same wavelength with whatever intellectual topic you both like to discuss. But anyway, yeah, with here and now, I feel like this person, when you're with them, you're like engaged with them, you enjoy their company, it's easy. But then when you're not with them, you're not like pining over them, you're not worried about when am I going to see them again. There's this very chill vibe of like, well, when I see them, I see them. I'm going to experience my life in the moment. So I feel like there's this moment with suspension here of moments where you're away from this person and you really get to like think or develop your own personality. And that's kind of interesting that this card's coming out this way. It's like this card's coming out as like further knowledge, or further knowledge, what am I trying to say? It's coming out as more information about your independence is kind of what I'm seeing. Also with family and suspension here, I feel like if you guys, especially if you're your parents and you have like kids already, I feel like with this person, you might discuss expanding your family more or wanting to have a kid with this person. There is this kind of vibe, and I don't know if it's just because you met this person at a family function or what the deal is with that, or if you kind of why this is coming up, but I feel like immediately you think about having a child with this person. And that's something that does cross your mind, and maybe you discuss with them is like, you discuss like how they want to have kids or how you want to have kids or how many kids you want to have. Maybe you discuss baby names or something like that. Because this man in this sap thing in the tree is reminding me of someone who's like a baby in the womb, right? So I'm feeling this kind of feeling of like safety or security or something like that. I feel like this person feels very familiar. I feel like because you met them through your family, you feel extra safe with them. With the Enchanter's Wheel, it's interesting. With the Enchanter's Wheel, this is giving me the vibe of like a long-term connection. So I feel like this person's going to be in your life for a while. I don't know what that means exactly. Like, I don't know if that means you guys are going to be like together in your life for a while, if you'll be like committed to each other. Because I do see this kind of vibe of like when we're together, we're together, but when we're apart, we're apart. So this kind of could be a kind of relationship that has the kind of vibe of like, I don't know how to explain it. It really could go either way. You guys could be really committed to each other, or this could be someone who kind of passes in and out of your life repeatedly. It's just someone who's coming in next that's going to stay with you for a while, right? So this could be someone you have like a sexual relationship with, or it could be someone that like you have romantic feelings for and you guys discuss romantic yearnings, but maybe the sexual relationship never gets off the ground. With the Enchanter's Wheel, I see that it really represents that like it could go in any direction, right? Like the wheel's constantly turning. You guys might evolve through time in different phases of your connection. So for example, you might be really into having a sexual relationship with this person for a while. And then the next while you both decide like, let's just keep it like intellectual and we'll just discuss ideas. Then it changes to something else. Or maybe you decide to like keep it platonic or whatever. It goes, this relationship goes through evolutions. It goes through like periods of change basically. And the thing is with these changes, because it's the Enchanter's Wheel, it's the Wheel of Fortune, they're all good. It's all changes that represent really good things coming in your life. It's like, hey, we got to like adapt to this situation. So we're just going to change with the times and we'll see what happens. And it always turns out good for both of you. With the Forge card, it's interesting because I am seeing here that like you guys in the connection as like a working partnership, or there's something about you guys really enjoy working together. This could be a relationship that evolves into some kind of working partnership, which is interesting. I feel like with that intellectual stuff, that intellectual conversations might be preludes to like a business that you might get involved in with this person or something along those lines. I'm looking at all these dwarves here working on these armor, like these swords and these, what are they building? Swords, staves, whatever they're building. I think they're all building swords, but it's called the Forge. So they're all working like pretty hard at like building these swords. So I feel like what's interesting about this too is they're building swords, and the Ace of Challenges, is usually called the Ace of Swords, right? So I feel like swords representing intellect, there is this vibe that like you guys are building knowledge with each other over time. So more so than just working together, you could be working together in some intellectual field where you guys both respect the other one's expertise. Communication can come into play with this too. So for example, you might start like a podcast with this person and you might bring on different guest speakers to like discuss certain issues of the times or something like that. I feel like you guys have very brilliant discussions. I feel like anyone who's overheard your discussions is kind of like, whoa, you guys hit the nail on the head. Like, how did you figure that out? And it's because in a past life, you guys did investigative work together. You really worked on like trying to solve crimes, trying to solve cases, trying to solve dilemmas. You could have worked for a government agency trying to problem solve solutions to like help the people. Whatever it was, you guys were seeking the truth of the situation. What is the underlying truth in this situation? I feel like it's interesting because the previous group had this thing where they were trying to like make amends for the past life situation. This past life situation, I'm seeing it more as the fact that like you guys are building on your past life in this life. So for example, you might actually discover, you might actually learn or discover or find out pieces of information from intellectuals that you both really enjoy or really appreciate, and you might be like continuing their work basically through like creating your own ideas and symbolism through kind of like understanding what someone else has come before you and like building off their ideas. So with the Truth Seeker, it goes a little bit deeper than just the past life. It's like you guys are continuing the work from that lifetime is kind of how I'm seeing this kind of relationship come into play. But this is your next like significant relationship. I feel like saying that because I feel like for this group, you might have a few like relationships that are just like passing fancies in your life. But this is the next person coming in that like is going to be a significant person for you. Yeah, just with the suspension card and the family here, I am seeing that you guys might even start a family with this person. It could be at that level where you enjoy each other's company so much, you guys decide to start a family, get married, settle down, something like that. I don't want to jump too far ahead in this reading. This is not a Who Will You Marry reading. So, but I'm going to end the reading there. If you guys enjoyed this reading, feel free to like or comment below. If you really enjoyed this reading, feel free to subscribe to the channel. We're always welcoming new subscribers here at Cody Tarot. And with that said, we're going to move on to group 3 with the green jade and the quartz in the back of it. So I will see you guys in the next pick a card or in the next video. Sayonara and see you later. Bye. Hey, group 3, this is if you picked the green jade. So lovely, cool stone. Okay, so let's get into your reading. I'm going to draw some animal oracle cards, one to represent you and one to represent your partner or the next person you're going to be in a relationship with. So okay, this one wants to come. Oh, this one must come out for your partner, and this one is coming out for you guys. We have lamb and starfish. I'm also going to draw a love story oracle card for you guys. Let's see, what card wants to come out for? We have friendship. Cool. We're going to get a wisdom of the oracle card as well, get the general gist of the connection. This card wants to come out. We have the fates. Let's get some tarot cards for you guys. Have a few cards that want to come out. We have Seeker of Visions and we have Nine of Boons. Okay, this card wants to come out. And this card wants to come out. We have Two of Spells and Keeper of Boons. And I'm also pulling past life cards for these readings. This is just going to give me some information on if you guys had a past life together or what your previous life was together and why you're coming through into this life together. We have wealth, inheritance, miser, acquisition, gambling, or speculation. Okay, let's get into your reading. I didn't get most of it, but I think more of it's going to come to me as I read. So let's get started. So first with the lamb and the starfish. Here with the lamb, you guys are represented as someone who is pretty innocent, at least in this connection. There's this sense of like innocence or feeling like a kid again or feeling like you're young at heart. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. I feel like with this earth symbol right above you, you're going into this wanting a kind of stable connection with someone. Or at least when you're going for this relationship, you're looking for that stable long-term commitment. I see that this connection starts out as a friendship. So I do see it could enter into romantic territory, but I do see that it mainly starts out as a friendship. That's kind of the vibe that I kind of picked up that could be a possibility for, I think it was group 1. But with this group, it's definite. It's like you guys start out as friendship or you meet each other through a friend is kind of the other thing that I'm seeing is you might meet each other through a friend. So a friend might introduce you to someone and then you meet that person through that friend. But for the most part, I'm seeing that you guys have this strong, committed friendship to each other. With starfish here, they're represented as someone who's really popular, who can like do a lot of different things at once. This is someone who has kind of like their hand in every pot, if that makes sense. I don't even know if that's an expression, but I'm like thinking of that expression. So there might be an expression that's similar to that I'm kind of confusing it with. But basically with starfish, there's kind of this vibe of like, they have a foot in every door, right? It's like, you know, everyone says like, you know, make sure you get your foot in the door. This person has their foot in like 5 doors, right? They have their way of like being on the cutting edge of starting a whole bunch of different projects and being able to kind of like get involved in different areas or like at least have a hand in doing something in all these different areas. I get this in this description of the starfish because they have a star and they're pointed in all directions, right? There's not like a front or a back to this person. They have like they can go in like all directions. This person's very intuitive that you're going to be with. They have this ability to almost, it's kind of like they have this vibe of like, I can be everywhere at once is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. It's interesting because I feel like combined, both of you have this ability to generate a lot of wealth. And I'm seeing this here. You're both, how do I put this? You're both very sensitive because in a past life, you came from a really wealthy, prominent family, right? Like you both came from money. You both came from like really high up bourgeois society, like wealth. So I feel like when you both came into this world, it's interesting. I feel like both of you kind of came into this world a little bit soft, or at least that's kind of how it's represented in your connection. It's like you guys both understand each other's sensitivities is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. They really totally cater to your sense of innocence, and they kind of help you kind of flourish in that way. So for example, with this diamond like hovering over this lamb's head, I feel like you guys are the type of people that like throughout your life, wealth has just kind of followed you, right? Like you don't really try too hard, but like money just seems to kind of come into your life right when you need it or at the perfect moment. And so with this starfish, I'm seeing they kind of invest in you as they would invest in any of their other projects that they're involved in, because I see that they're involved in a lot of different stuff. So they have this way of like coming to you and like being involved with you. They kind of take this interest in you. I feel like it's interesting because I feel like this grew out of a friendship, or this could, and for a lot of you, this is a friendship you have right now. And it's just because the card friendship's coming out because it's to say that like a friendship that you have right now is going to grow and turn into a relationship. And that's for some of you. Some of you, this person is going to be a friend that you're going to meet that will also turn into a relationship. But some of you, I'm even thinking you know this person now. So if you have someone in mind, you're like, oh my gosh, I know someone like that. It's probably this person. With Secret Visions, I see you guys bonding over music. Like I see you really bonding initially over music. I feel like you guys like the same genre of music. I feel like you enjoy listening to the same type of music. It's like that same kind of music that you both like brings a lot of peace into your life, a lot of harmony into your life. With the fates here, this is a fated relationship. This is a relationship that was destined to happen. It's something that you guys feel so called to each other is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. You feel like it's like fate that you guys are brought together. It feels like it's destiny that you're together. There's something very magical about this connection also. There's just this really cool vibe about this relationship. It's interesting because I feel like even though you guys are like, I feel like this is a connection where you're like 90% friends, 10% lovers. It's like you guys enjoy each other's company so much you don't want to ruin the friendship. But at the same time, I don't think you guys are afraid to take it to that love vibe, right? We do have Seeker of Visions here, which is kind of like the Knight of Cups. And so this kind of does represent like romance and kind of romantic attitudes as well as friendship. So I feel like there's this underlying sense of friendship, but like deep romantic attitudes that are shared as well. With Nine of Boons here, I feel like one thing that's going to be interesting with this connection, I feel like you both are going to want to like accumulate a lot of money for yourself or spend a lot of money. Finances is really big in this connection. I feel like this person's going to help you with your wealth or help you generate wealth. I feel like you have this diamond following you around. And so this person kind of, starfishes too, like I get the vibe too, sometimes a starfish could like mirror a person. I don't know where I picked this up from, but it's like, I feel like they could even mirror your natural strengths back at you, and it kind of amplifies that money-making quality. So where you guys are normally the ones who are like attracting wealth into your life, with this person, it's like extra, you attract more wealth into your life. And it's interesting because I'm seeing your personalities kind of combining a little bit to create this new version of like who you both are. It's interesting. I see that you guys might be involved in a lot of different projects that all are money making, or you guys as the lamb might actually tell the starfish person, your partner, you know, you have your foot in all these projects. Maybe you should start taking a profit from all these projects. Maybe you can make these into a money-making thing, or you can make money out of these different projects, is kind of the vibe that I'm seeing. So with the Nine of Boons, I see that kind of wealth and prosperity and abundance follows you guys throughout your connection. It's partly, I'm going to be honest, it's partly from you guys. It's like your innate nature is creating this wealth. But at the same time, it's like your guys combined is kind of creating it as well. With Two of Spells, I feel like you guys are really going to get into divination. You're really going to get into like either, like this guy's, he's casting these sticks, right? And these sticks are like, I think these are rune sticks, or you might cast rune dice or rune, what are those rune tablet things that I've seen them like sell them. There's like rune divination things. You guys might get into tarot cards. I feel like specifically you try to use divination to help enhance your financial status or your money situations. You kind of use a form of divination to kind of like make more money or wealth in the world. This Two of Spells is kind of reminding me of like gambling or playing like a card game or something. So there might be something along the lines of speculation or playing with your money in kind of like a fun way. So there might be a way of like, you guys might enjoy like going to casinos, or you might like to do different things like that. Be careful if you gamble all your money away, you won't have any. But I feel like there's a big like kind of like wanting to take a risk or wanting to predict the future with your finances or trying to invest things or something along those lines. With Keeper of Boons, I feel like you guys kind of get this vibe about you that's kind of like you're this kind of rich old man in a cave full of treasures, and you're here to like, you just enjoy being amongst your like treasures and trinkets and all those kinds of things. I feel like with Keeper of Boons here, this talks more deeper, just not about money, but it talks about like possessions that you really cherish, right? Keeper of Boons is the King of Pentacles in the traditional tarot card, and in that card, he's surrounded by bull heads, right, representing Taurus. Taurus rules the second house of money and possession. So it's not just your wealth that you're accumulating. I feel like with this person, you're also accumulating specific possessions that you treasure. So some of these could have sentimental value, is kind of what I'm seeing. With the starfish here, it is reminding me of going to the beach and collecting seashells. So that's something that maybe you guys do, is you collect pieces of like nature around you and you keep them in your house. I'm seeing with the Two of Spells here, you might use these pieces of nature in like magic or spell work or something like that. I'm very much getting like, this is kind of random, but I'm getting like earth fairy vibes. So maybe some of you really resonate with being like fairies, and maybe you resonate with being like an earth fairy or something like that. I know that's like really random, but that like came to me. With Keeper of Boons, I just feel like you guys have this ability to kind of like create a beautiful home environment and really be that joyous kind of person that like bestows gifts on others is kind of what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that with this wealth card, it's like one of the things you want to do in this lifetime is I feel like in a previous lifetime, you guys had so much wealth, right? And almost like you didn't know what to do with it because you were so freaking wealthy. You just had so much wealth and money. And I see that a lot of those blessings are coming to you in this life. You guys might just attract wealth like super easily. Or you might attract wealth super easily. But I feel like one of the things that the Keeper of Boons represents is sometimes it represents like giving back to others or being so in such a prominent position abundance wise that you can give back to others, right? It's the ability to be a giving person or sometimes someone who teaches lessons or something like that. But with the Keeper of Boons here, just indicating that you guys have all these treasures and possessions at your abundance. And so you're overflowing with like material abundance. And so I think this person comes into your life to kind of reflect your nature back at you and kind of show you that like you have this abundant nature within you. Maybe you guys coming to this reading are like, I feel lost in that department, or I feel like I know that like things are attracted to me, but I don't know the purpose of it. I don't know why that's happening. I don't know what's going on. I feel like this person's going to help you find your purpose with what you do financially in this world. I feel like they're going to help you make more they're going to help you understand what you can do with your resources and your money. With the starfish person, I feel like they're going to have a lot of projects that you're going to want to invest in because they're going to be starfish people are very talented. They're very popular. They have their foot in all these different doors. They're social connectors, right? They're people who kind of they'll get you out of this kind of isolated, abundant mindset where you're not really communicating with too many people. And they're going to get you like engaged with other people is kind of the vibe that I'm seeing. Yeah, this one was pretty simple. It's talking mainly about just this person's going to help show you the abundance in the universe is kind of what I'm seeing. They're really going to help you get in touch with that side of yourself. It's interesting with the Keeper of Boons here and the Seeker of Visions. I am seeing this vibe, and this woman even, because she has like this hobbit hole behind her. I feel like you guys are going to have this ability to create a cozy home environment, right? And you're going to have the most beautiful music playing in this environment. You're going to have the most beautiful possessions. I feel like you guys are going to create this like palace that you both live in, that you kind of really just like, you kind of spend all your time inside or alone or something like that. I'm seeing this vibe of like really getting cozy and being together. Now, the only thing that kind of counteracts this is the starfish card where they're very popular and they have a foot in every door, right? I feel like it's like one of those things where I feel like you guys both have like your time, when your time alone away from people is really wonderful and fantastic. And then when you're out in the world, it's like, that's where all your growth experiences are going to happen. So for example, with this lamb card, I know you guys are kind of representing this connection as like really innocent. You'll enjoy your alone time with this person, but I feel like this person's also, it's kind of karmic in the sense that they're going to push you out of your comfort zone to get you reconnected with those around you. In a lot of previous societies, the wealthy was so isolated from the general public. They were so out of touch with the times. You can think of like Marie Antoinette in that famous line where she says, "Let them eat cake." There's kind of this vibe here of like being so isolated from others and like being on your pyramid or like pinnacle of wealth that you're not in touch with the rest of the world. So this person is going to help get you in touch with the rest of the world and kind of get you to figure out how you're going to like give back to the community is kind of what I'm seeing. Lovely. So if you guys enjoyed this reading, please like or comment below. If you really enjoyed this reading, feel free to subscribe to my channel. We post pick a cards like this once every 1 to 2 weeks. And with that said, yeah, I'm going to end the reading there. I really enjoyed reading for you guys. It was really a fun time, this one. And yeah, with that said, we're going to move on to group 4 with the Black Obsidian. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Bye. Hey, group 4, this is if you picked the Black Obsidian, this really shiny stone that really shows off the interior of my whole house. Okay, so let's get into your reading. We're going to get a spirit animal card for you and them to represent who you are in this relationship that you'll be in and who your person is in this relationship that you'll both be in. So we have the elk coming through, and then we need a card for them. We have the bee. Okay. You can get a love story oracle card. I'm going to draw for this one. And we have self-worth. And we're going to pull a Wisdom of the Oracle card just to get the general vibe of this connection. And we have building blocks. And we'll get some tarot cards. I feel like giving this deck a good shuffle. Hope you guys are doing well. Sometimes I feel called to just ask you how you're doing. Yeah. Care about you guys. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this card wants to come out. We have 8 of Boons. Let's see what else wants to come out. Let's see, I'm going to draw the rest of them. We have 8 of Challenges. We have, oh yeah, I'm not taking reversals, by the way. That's why I'm flipping these up, right? We have 5 of Visions, and we have 7 of Boons. And last but not least, I'm going to get a past life card to represent your guys' past life together and why you're coming into this life. If there's any unfinished business, what that would be. We have murder. Oh, wow. Okay. Let's see. Witness, murdered, suicide, murderer. Wow. Okay. Okay, so let's get into this reading. Okay, so the main thing about this connection, sorry to bring this up, but I want to bring it up just because it's going to give us a ground point to start on about this relationship. But the main thing about this relationship is it's challenging. So keep that in mind. It is challenging. It is something that is meant to come into this life to get you to kind of see, with the fact that you picked Rainbow Obsidian, this Rainbow Obsidian is to get you to see your darker, shadowy attributes and kind of build your way out of them, or to figure out how do I put it, to like face them and come out stronger is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. You guys are represented here as this majestic elk, right? I feel like a lot of people in life kind of see you as a majestic being, or someone who is just kind of like very magical. With these antlers here, I feel like you guys could have this connection to spirit or to the universe or something along those lines that kind of really brings in information for you. I feel like going into this connection, you guys are looking for something that's very long term. You're looking for something that is gonna last. That's kind of where you guys are in your life right now. And I think you, in a way, with this self-worth card, with this mirror here, there's this kind of vibe that it's not really like projecting, but it's just kind of like sort of assuming that this person coming in is that person for you, when really they're actually meant to be a growth point on your journey. This is not like the final destination. This is a person, I know, I'm sorry guys, if you're like, I want my next relationship to be my spouse, this is not the vibe here. It's like this person is meant to challenge you a little bit. This person that you're going to be in a connection with, they have like this sense of freedom about them. They want to be able to just do whatever they want when they want. With the B card here, they also have this ability to sting, right? There's kind of this ability to kind of like prod or poke is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. It's interesting because I feel like with the tension here with the air and the earth, it's like there is a strong like more like probably more sexual component to this connection. But the thing is, I feel like you guys get into this connection because you really want to do the self-work. You really want to work on yourselves. There's a vibe here that, you know, you're both in. The thing is, it's like you both know the relationship is challenging. Like you're not like unaware of that. This is a relationship that's probably not going to last that long, because relationships like this that are challenging, that are meant to teach you things and like get you to see your dark side, right? They don't last that long because people can't handle. I mean, some people prefer their life like that, but I don't think people who watch my channel are like that. I feel like this connection, it's like meant to be like an intense kind of crash course in like shadow work or just learning how to have self-worth for yourself, because this person's in a way going to challenge you a little bit. With building blocks here, this is kind of showing you that out of this connection, you are building a more secure sense of self-worth through this connection. And through kind of this person showing you what needs to be worked on. Okay, so let's get further into the reading. It's interesting because we have is your past life murder and murdered, right? I feel like one thing that you guys, this quite literally could be that in a past life, one of you like had murdered the other one or something like that. And because it's like dealing so closely with death and like destruction, you guys are meant to come into each other's lives to kill off a part of your old selves that's holding you back, is kind of the vibe that I'm getting with murder here. It's like metaphorically, like, you know, this person killed you in a past life or you killed them, and you're here to kind of like kill off one of their versions of themselves that's no longer good for them, is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. With Eight of Boons, I feel like a lot of you could find this person in a repetitive work environment, or an environment where there's like a lot of repetitive work. This could be in a school classroom or something like that. The thing here is there's going to be some element of repetition. So for example, it could be a school classroom where the teacher assigns really boring work and it's like the schedule's always the same. The teacher doesn't switch it up. It's just like, okay, we have homework on Tuesdays, test on Thursdays, homework on Tuesdays, test on Thursdays. It'll be like a class where it's like really rote. Then maybe you have to just memorize things and it's really boring. It's kind of like this environment where you're meeting someone doing a lot of routine or a lot of repetition or a lot of kind of like dulling, kind of mind-numbing kind of work like that. That's kind of the vibe where you're like meeting this person, or the kind of vibe that you kind of interact with them. It's this sense of like monotony I can see that kind of pulls you guys to this connection that has so much challenge in it. With Eight of Challenges here, this kind of card is kind of mirroring the self-worth card, because in another deck of mine, the Light Seers Tarot deck, the Eight of Challenges is like a woman looking into a mirror. And so one thing that I'm seeing here is there's this vibe of like not seeing yourself in a good light when you're next to this person, right? It's like when you see them, you kind of like the way you view yourself when you look at them, it's like you don't view yourself as majestic. You don't view yourself as like this majestic elk anymore. You view yourself as kind of like an insect, right? Or vice versa. You don't view yourself as like this busy bee, this social bee, right? You view yourself as this kind of isolated elk in the woods in like Alaska, you know? So I feel like there's this vibe of like very different personalities here. And so when you're mirroring each other, there's kind of this vibe of like, I feel like you guys, if you looked into the mirror as a couple, you would be like, we don't look good together. That's kind of the vibe that I'm seeing. It's like, man, I don't like the way I look next to them, or something along those lines. One thing that I am seeing is that this relationship, it's interesting. It starts out very challenging. I feel like this person has a way of showing you who you are, and you don't want to see that side of yourself because it's coming from a perspective that you don't necessarily respect, if that makes sense. I know guys, this is sounding like so far it's sounding all bad, but there are good parts about this. I'm getting into it right here with the Five of Visions. There is a part of time where you guys actually start to enjoy each other's company. It's weird. It's like you kind of get used to the stings and you're like, okay, so that's just showing me this part of myself. And then you look on that and you need to work on that, right? So I feel like with the Five of Visions, there is this feeling where this woman's like lost her ball in this pond, right? There's this feeling of getting lost in the connection, or kind of this feeling of like enjoying losing these parts of yourselves in the long run. I feel like once you start to like enjoy losing parts of yourselves, that's kind of when the relationship takes the next turn, right? Where it's like with this Seven of Boons, you have all these doorways, and it's like these closed doors or these paths before you that you can take, right? This card's reminding me of a few things. It's reminding me of doors being closed to you, and it's also reminding me of the fact that you just need to use your willpower to open a door, and then you can move through that door into the next phase of your life, right? I'm seeing a few things here. I'm seeing that You guys could get lost in this connection, even though it's very challenging, because it's almost like seeing your reflection in a new way. And even though it's a weird way, you're still kind of liking the whole fact of like getting lost in the darkness or getting lost in your own shadow. So I feel like you guys do kind of come to a strength in this, and it's good to be there. But what I'm seeing with the Seven of Boons, and I'm kind of picking this up intuitively, not necessarily from this card, although this card does deal with it. It's like, you guys need to come out of the shadow and back into the light. It's kind of the vibe that I'm getting with both of you. It's like there is a point in time where you guys step away from this connection. And with that, it's Seven of Boons indicates that you might have some other opportunity in your life that's coming up, and it might be something behind a closed door. You might not know what's behind that door. You might have several opportunities appearing in life that you don't know what's behind the door. And that's kind of the secret to this whole connection, right? It's like, you've dug so deep into yourself and you can see yourself so clearly. It's almost like when these world events start coming, you get all these opportunities are falling into your lap, right? And you don't know if you want to take them because you can't see beyond the front door of this opportunity. The truth is here is it's like, just as you kind of dug into the unknown of yourself, the trick to getting out of that shadow work and into the real world and into the world where you can like actually be yourself again and experience life again is knowing that behind these doors, behind all these options, it doesn't really matter which one you pick. It just matters that you like start to uncover them. You open the door up and you go through it and you choose a new path, right? Because I am saying this is a moment to get lost in yourself, but with this Seven of Boons card, there is a moment where you start to see options around you that are kind of like appear to be closed doors, but they're options nonetheless. It's like people, how do I put this? I'm going to try to use an example for you guys. It's like someone offering you a job and being like, there's a job offer, but they don't know what schedule they want to put you in yet. They don't know if they want you on morning shift, evening shift, or afternoon shift. And all you know is that, you probably could take the job, but you're thinking, your introverted side is like, well, I have this specific schedule that's worked for me thus far. And, I really found out, like I dug deep into myself and I'm like a morning person and I like really like the mornings and I have to be in the mornings. But then you're kind of like the unknown, the part that's unknown is like the part that you already identify with. And so it's like, how do I put this? The growth is outside yourself. You're like learning more about yourself from outside yourself. And that's kind of the lesson that you turn to eventually from this connection. It's weird. It's like you're going down the rabbit hole and then you have to climb back out the rabbit hole. It's like you went and learned so much about yourself, but then it's time, like at the end of this connection, it's almost like once you guys get comfortable and you start feeling too lost, like you feel like, man, I'm lost in this world of myself. I don't know where reality is anymore. It's like, that's when it's time to like, and I feel like, how do I put this, emotional saying that, because I feel like sometimes we get so lost and like absorbed in our own personalities that we can't find the door out to the rest of the world, where it's like, I feel like people around us are probably just trying to, like wake up, get out of your head, that kind of vibe. So I feel like this person really gets you to focus on yourself, right? They shine that mirror on you. They show you the parts of yourself that are ugly. They can't even make you love those parts of yourself again. They really help you build up your identity from the ground up. But the thing is, eventually you have to come out of that self-isolated prison, like the Eight of Challenges talks about in the traditional tarot. She's stuck with these like swords all around her, like she's in a prison. Her eyes are covered and her hands are bound. The truth is, she just needs to take off the blindfold and step out into the world. She's not really trapped there. She just needs to step out in the world. All these doors as options, you just have to open the door and move on to the next thing in life. Open the door and just accept whatever's coming in next, because the universe is going to try and throw you things after this. Probably blessings, probably really good things. Honestly, the vibe that I'm getting with this Seven of Boons, just because it's a boons card, it might be some kind of profitable money-making venture, but the one thing that I'm seeing mainly is that like it's probably something good behind these doors, right? Whatever it is, it's something real. It's something in the real actual world that's going to like affect and change you and make you a different person based on the experiences you gain from it. So although you discovered who you are and your identity, there's still more you can build from by going out into the world and experiencing more things, right? remember, this past life, in a past life, they either murdered you or you murdered them, and this is part of the experience, is to go through a transformation, to let an old self go and go to a new self, right? So I feel like they're really helping you let go eventually. Eventually, this relationship with this murder card, you have to, when one of you passes, it's like you have to mourn the relationship a little bit, or you have to mourn it's not even the relationship, it's the idea that you kind of got and dug into yourself so much. You have to mourn that before you can go out and kind of experience the real world again. I think this is a really transformative kind of relationship. Like I said at the beginning of the reading, challenging. It's going to be challenging. But I think you're going to be better off in the long run. I think you're going to go through a lot of growth. You're going to go through a lot of like discovery about yourself and who you are. I feel like you're going to come out on the other end of this knowing your identity, knowing who you are and what you stand for. And I think that's going to really help you when you open these doors to these new opportunities. It's going to really help you accomplish a lot in the world and come at the world with a new, stronger sense of self. That's kind of what this elk truly represents, right? It represents a strong, powerful sense of self, right? With a connection to the higher realms, right? It's interesting because I feel like this elk represented here, and especially the earth symbol, is a connection or a symbol that is making me think that, you know, even though this relationship is not the one for you guys as far as like a long-term connection, I do feel like there will be one in the future, that you do have a long-term connection in the future waiting for you. So keep that in mind when you're going through this next relationship. Okay, so I really enjoyed giving you guys this reading. This was a lot of fun. I know it was a challenging spread. I know this was there's a lot to go through, or a lot to unpack in this particular group. So if you're feeling this, if this didn't resonate with you, feel free to pick another group, because I know this was a tough group to go through. So anyway, with that said, I really enjoyed reading for you. If you guys liked the reading, please like or comment below. If you really enjoyed the reading, feel free to subscribe to the channel. With that said, I'm going to move on to the last group with the Starbrary Quartz. Yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hey, group 5, this is you picked the Starbrary Quartz. Such a cool stone. This is one of my new purchases. I finally cracked and bought some crystals online. I normally only go to gem shows, but I went to an online dealer and got this crystal from them. So let's get into your guys' reading. Let's draw an animal oracle card to represent you, and an animal oracle card to represent the person you'll be in a relationship with, your next relationship. So let's see. This one wants to come out for you guys. We have snake. And let's get one for your person. We have swan. I'm also going to get a love story oracle card for both of you. I'm getting really positive vibes from this pile. Like overwhelmingly positive. And we have trust. Okay. You know what's funny is I saw a card in the deck where the two hands were like holding out and shaking each other or something like that, or holding each other's hands. It might have been the same card that I saw at the bottom of the deck, and it just flipped out. Okay, so let's get into this. I'm so excited for this. Oh my gosh, this pile, like the energy. Oh my gosh. Let's see what else. We have orphaned. Okay. Let's get some cards from the tarot cards. I'm getting, I don't know. This group is interesting. Let's see what tarot cards come out for you guys. This card wants to come out. We have Keeper of Challenges. What else wants to come out? We have this card. We have Nine of Spells. We have Keeper of Spells, and we have Weaver of Visions. A lot of court cards in this reading. It's interesting, the colors. of all the cards. We have like a yellow color, a blue color, a red color, and a green color. Let's get the past life oracle cards out, and then we'll get into your reading. What card needs to come out for group 5? Okay, this card wants to come out. We have performer, musician, entertainer, dancer, actor. I really feel called to pull one more. If one more wants to come out, yes, okay. We have close encounter, extraterrestrial, earth, early earth dweller, watcher or guardian, off-worlder. So the extraterrestrial and performer. Okay, let's get into your reading. Wow, this is very interesting. It's interesting because, like, little fun fact about my personal life. I'm in an improv troupe. Like we do little sketch shows and like improv scenes, and we have like shows that we put on and stuff like that. And it's funny because we have performer here and actors like in the position of performer. We also have dancer, musician, and entertainer. And I am seeing that like performance in general or artistic expression is important in this connection. Or in the past, both of you were like actors, musicians, dancers, or entertainers. You guys were some sort of performer that performed together with this person in like performances. Also with extraterrestrial, I don't know if you guys resonate with starseed energy, but I'm feeling that a lot for like a lot of you. There's like a feeling of starseed energy or being, how do I put this? Coming to a new world or a new place and being totally brand new to the environment. Maybe you spoke a different language. Maybe you were someone who didn't really know too much about the new environment. And so you kind of were placed somewhere without knowing anything about the environment. That's kind of the vibe with the past life. So whether you guys resonate with being a starseed or on a more literal level, you were like an alien to a different country or something like that, or into a new situation. Maybe you grew up in, East Africa, and all of a sudden you're like in England, like, I don't know. So this is kind of like the past life thing that I'm getting is I feel like there was a period of adaptation where you had to adapt to your environment and you didn't really know what to do. You didn't know how to handle it. With orphaned here, I feel like this is kind of coming through in connection with the past life and the current life that you guys are both in and the relationship. Orphan just means that you guys both feel left out from life is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. There is this sense of loneliness that in this connection, it's interesting because initially you guys bond over this loneliness. It's like, yeah, we were both orphaned, or we were both left out, or both of our families left us, or we had to start our lives from ground zero, or we were always alone. That's kind of the vibe. I feel like, oh my God, I'm like getting teary-eyed. Okay, so sorry, let me ground myself a little bit. Yeah, there's just a feeling that like you guys were kind of, how do I put this? You were both lost and you were able to find each other and find a like in kindred soul that you could really fully trust is kind of the vibe that I'm seeing. So in this lifetime, it's really beautiful because I feel like in a previous lifetime, it's interesting. I'm seeing kind of like 2 lifetimes previously that you guys had together. It's like in a previous lifetime, you were both walked the world alone and you literally, and you each had a lifetime where you did not find a kindred soul. And this is like really sad for me to say this, but like I'm seeing this. It's like you both had to walk a lifetime where you didn't find a single person that you connected with. You were very alone throughout your whole life. With orphaned here, it's like you felt so alone and isolated, right? And so in this lifetime, you guys have this feeling, whether you were or not, you have this feeling that you've been alone or that you've been orphaned. And when you meet this person, they reflect that feeling back to you. So it's interesting. There is a moment of feeling like your loneliness is understood, right? But then at the same time, this connection could also feel somewhat lonely because there's the vibe of like, well, we both feel alone. And if we're bonding about feeling alone, you're just kind of revealing to the other one how that loneliness feels, if that makes sense. Now, this connection has 2 sides to it, right? I did feel like pulling this card second, but there's also this card that came out first, right? Which is the performer card. I feel like on the other hand, you guys have a ton of fun being able to perform and put on shows for others. I feel like there's kind of this vibe of, I feel like really truly like both of you perform for each other. I feel like this is kind of a relationship where like you're both gonna crack each other up like crazy. Like you're both gonna laugh like crazy. You're gonna have so much fun in this connection. There is this really strong vibe of really performing for each other and being entertainment for each other in the most fun way possible, right? I feel like, you know, those friends that you have where you can just get a really good laugh with them and you can just have a really good, like, good time. Like, I don't know how better to describe it. I feel like it's just this vibe of like, really fully enjoying yourself with this other person. I feel like this sense of humor, this sense of like camaraderie, and also this feeling that you were both alone in a previous lifetime, or the feeling that you guys are both alone now. With Orphaned here, I feel like there might be something in this life where you come together with this person when you feel like you've been shut out of a group, or you feel like you don't belong somewhere anymore, or you feel like an alien in this world. There's kind of this vibe of like meeting someone else who's also feels like that and really connecting with them over that. With trust, I see this whole aspect of connecting with them through that really bonds you guys together and really makes you trust each other. I feel like in this next connection you guys have, you'll be like thick as thieves. Like you'll kind of want to link and hold on to each other. I feel like also with this hand pulling up this other hand, I feel like you guys really help each other out of tricky situations, whether that's through humor or laughter or just with like emotional support or something like that. You really help each other out of tough situations and you pull each other out of the mud, right? Like you pull each other out of the like lowest level you could be at and you elevate each other, right? So there's not just this feeling of sympathizing. There's not just this feeling of like, oh, we're alone and we're different and we're just going to commiserate and be miserable together. There's this feeling of like, yeah, we're both alone. Yeah, we're both different. And I know I can fully trust you, you know, because you've been through the same experiences as me. And also with this performer energy, there's a strong amount of laughter here. There's a strong amount of like joy that's coming through as well, that I feel like you guys can really lift each other up. It's not all just like let's commiserate with our sadness. You know, it's like there's a lot of engaging opportunity to like enjoy each other's company. Now it's interesting because I'm seeing a few things in this connection. With performer here, I see that both of you kind of are coming back into this lifetime to either really get back in touch with your music, with your dance moves, with the fact that you're an entertainer. So you could be like, maybe you're like a stand-up comic or something, or an actor. Maybe you guys are in like plays or performances together and you guys act in performances. But what I'm seeing here mainly is that with this 9 of spells, you guys have this ability in your relationship to be fully protected from enemies. It's really cool how this operates. It's like, and I see it mainly generates with you guys, which I don't think you guys would think that about yourselves, but I'm seeing that it mainly generates with you. It's like the fact that you have this ability to come full circle with your projects and things in life with the snake card. I feel like it really helps kind of solidify like a perimeter around this relationship is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. So with the 9 of spells here, this card talks about casting a circle of protection, right? And being protected from the creatures of the forest or the enemies of the forest, you know? She's kind of casting the circle of protection to save herself so she can like, you know, she probably wants to like sleep at night or something, or just have an area carved out for her where she can truly be herself. And so that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting with both of you, is you have that element in your relationship. With Keeper of Challenges, Keeper of Spells, and Weaver of Visions, this is the King of Swords, the King of Wands, and the Queen of Cups. I'm seeing mainly that these 3 entities in this reading are represented as spirit guides or as guardians that look out for both of you. I feel like this is kind of a situation where it's interesting because Keeper of Challenges can be a tough, especially in this deck, he can be a tough person, right? Like he can be hard on the people who kind of approach him. He's like a tough love kind of guy. And I see that like this was your main guardian through this period of your life where you had a past life where you were all alone, right? You were learning the lesson of isolation, specifically like what it feels like to be isolated or different from everyone and not to connect with anyone. For some reason, you guys needed to learn that lesson. That's not your lesson in this life. Let me be perfectly clear. You're not dealing with that lesson in this life, but you have a life where that happened. And so you do know what it feels like to be alone or isolated or by yourself. This guide is still with you, however, and he's on your journey. He's building off that lifetime, and he's here to help you in this lifetime as well. You also have the Keeper of Spells and the Weaver of Visions. I feel like this is where your performer sides come from with the Keeper of Spells and Weaver of Visions. It's almost like, and also sometimes with the Keeper of Challenges too, I think he gets in on the action. I think all three of your guides are friends, and I think with this person coming in, you guys share these three guides. It's like three guides specifically that you share and you have together that are like working together with you. The cool thing about these guides, the thing that I'm seeing is like, it's interesting because I feel like you guys, how do I put it? You channel them when you're performing, right? So for example, with the Weaver of Visions, maybe you channel her when you're making music, or with the Keeper of Spells, maybe you channel him when you're performing a part in a play or an acting performance or something like that. Maybe you perform with the Weaver of Visions when you're dancing or something like that. All of these guides can manifest at different times in your performances. This gives you guys the beautiful quality, especially in your relationship, of like being different people at any given different time, if that makes sense. So for example, you could be in any of your art or performance in this lifetime, you could be creating many varied ways of performing. So maybe like, for example, say you're maybe like with this performer card, maybe you're a fashion designer or something like that, or you're a runway model. Maybe when you're modeling, you have all these different looks you can do, or like clothing and styles you can wear. And so you're trying out all these different things, and you're really channeling all these different spirits and guides through your body in order to show up in a certain way. With the Swan card here, I feel like your partner that you're with is going to be very, very beautiful, very alluring, very beautiful. I do not know what's going on. Music just started playing outside. Hold on, let me go check it out. Okay, that's so wild. I shut the screen door. There's like a car driving by and he's playing like this folk music, which was really interesting. So that might be something that this person enjoys, is like folk music. And also, the thing that I'm seeing too is it's like when you see them, the first moment that you see this person, it's like music starts to shoot off in your head. You start to think of songs or limericks, or you want to sing songs or something like that. There's something about them activating your throat chakra and activating your sense of expression. We have the throat chakra here mixed with indigo colors. So I feel like you guys have this ability to be like third eye psychically connected to each other because you're so in tune with each other's energies, and you have this ability to help each other speak each other's truths very vocally. It's interesting because I'm hearing with this flower of life here, it's almost like you guys are maybe more spiritual in this connection, but with the Swan card here, your partner is very, very beautiful. There is also a vibe with the swan and the snake of this kind of like alien with the extraterrestrial vibe of like you guys being like, how do I put this? Like surreal in your appearance or surreal in your performances. I feel like both of you are very, very talented at what you do. You're very, very, how do I put this? Good at being these different people or channeling these different energies or entities. With the third eye here too, this performance can also go into like psychic entertainment. You could be tarot card readers because channeling does include that. Like when you do tarot, sometimes a lot of tarot card readers are like channelers, you know, they channel like higher messages through them. So this could be something along those lines where you're channeling your spirit guides. As far as like, especially with the Keeper of Challenges, it's like, it doesn't just stop at like performance and like emotions and motivation, right? The Keeper of Challenges, he's a card about logic and facts and information. So you could be channeling literally information into the world around you. I feel like with you guys together, you're more powerful together than you are apart. And it's interesting because even though you both feel very orphaned and alone, it's interesting. I think you guys are destined a little bit to have a little bit of fame in this lifetime, especially with this performer card from your past life. It's like you go back and forth from this feeling of isolation to like popularity. And there's this kind of vibe of like the duality of both and the feeling of like understanding how both can exist at the same time. Okay, I'm going to end the reading there. I really enjoyed reading. Okay, this was a fun group. Yeah, this is a very positive relationship. I'm telling you, your next relationship is going to feel very good. The feeling I got before doing this reading was so powerful, like, and positive. I like felt it in my heart. I felt this cool like watery energy, like refreshing energy flow through my body. So I think you guys are really going to enjoy this connection. With that said, I'm going to end the reading there. If you guys like this reading, please like or comment below. If you really enjoyed this reading and you resonate with my energy, feel free to subscribe to the channel. We're always welcoming new subscribers here at Cody Tarot. And with that said, that was the last group for today, last pile. And I will see you guys in the next pick a card or on another video on my channel. Goodbye, and I will talk to you later. See you later. Bye.